three things that stop a roofing company from going over 5 million.
Lack of building a brand. They're just building a company and putting it out there, but a lack of building a brand.
If
For
you're
sure.
not getting the 5-star reviews and getting the referrals, then all the marketing in the world is kind of it's gonna be a waste.
90% of the organizations out there aren't ran properly. The leadership's not good. The support's not good. The training's not there. Instead of recruiting talent, you need to attract talent.
Hey, how's it going? It's Tim Brown, and this is the Hook Better Leads podcast. And today I have the pleasure of having on Eric Reno of Paramount Building. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good, man. How are you? I'm
I'm
pumped.
doing really good. We're talking about what stops roofing companies from going over 5 million.
Yes.
And I would love for the audience to just get a little bit of like where your company, what happened,
Yeah.
what's going on now, and just
Yeah.
where, what you're building towards.
Awesome. Fantastic. So Paramount started in 2013. And as most people know from YouTube, I came from actually doing roofing. I started carrying trash cans to learning how to prep to shingling and then became a subcontractor. When I was a subcontractor, I named Paramount Building Inc. Because I didn't really know what avenue I really wanted to work. Like I didn't know what my niche was. I just knew it'd be somewhere in construction. So in about 2016, I realized that roofing was where I really wanted to be, and I was really, really good at it. So I started going after the market. I built it at that time. I built it a lot with like Angie's List, using it doesn't exist anymore, but using Angie's List as leverage to bring revenue. So I would shingle all day on the roof. I'd get a couple calls. I'd literally go to a McDonald's. I would shower in the McDonald's sink, and then I would go do sales from like 6 o'clock at night till 9 o'clock at night.
Oh my God.
And I did
that's
this
badass.
forever, right?
Yeah.
So it was like at the beginning, I would do 3 weeks of sub work and then 1 week of my own work. And then it became like 2 weeks of sub work, 2 weeks of my own work. And then it just kind of, kept flowing until we had an actual substantial business. So today we're doing $10 million. We're doing shingles. We're doing flat roof. We're doing a lot of different big commercial projects. So it's pretty cool. We got an incredible team, 2 locations. Tons of reviews, and it's just awesome. It's really cool.
Man, I love that McDonald's thing, man, and just like the scrappiness.
Yeah,
I love roofers because it tends to be very resourceful, scrappy people. And
Yeah.
I just love hearing that story of you it's the overlap technique, right? You working for somebody else and you're doing the sub work and then being able to get your own jobs.
Yeah.
So you talked to me before we started this about 3 things that stop a roofing company from going over 5 million. What are those 3 things?
So for me, I see what a lot of like lack of building a brand. They're just building a company and putting it out there, but a lack of building a brand.
Yeah.
So I think that's number 1. Number 2, the recruiting phase. I think the days of just putting out an ad, like I remember when I was a sub, right? I'd put an ad on Craigslist like, hey, I need a shingler. I'll work you 40 or 50 hours a week. Here's the counties. Literally by lunchtime, I'd have to turn off my phone or I'd have to take down the ad because my voicemail was full. That doesn't happen these days anymore, right? Instead of recruiting talent, you need to attract talent, right? There's a big difference there. So I think that's number 2 is the recruiting and the way people recruit. And then 3 is wearing all the hats. So everybody, including myself, I was so scared to let go of sales. I was so scared to let go of customer intake. I was so afraid to let go of accounting and bookkeeping because I'm like, oh, somebody's going to steal from me. Somebody's not going to forget an invoice. They're not going to close as many jobs as I can close because I'm really good at it, right? They don't know the adjusters, so they're not going to get the roof covered like I can. It's tough. It's hard to just say, you know what, like it's time to build and I have to let go. Like I have to let go.
All right, I want to dive into these one by one. I think that these are incredible topics. So this idea of building a brand to a lot of roofing companies, let's say they're in that $1 or $2 million phase or whatever, like what does that mean? You know what I mean? If I'm just a single sales guy and I'm trying to go to 10 or trying to go to 5 or whatever, what does building a brand mean? We hear that all the time, but what does it really mean?
For me, it has to be something that's recognizable, right? And it's not about like logos, and it's not about truck wraps, and it's not about all those things help, but building a brand is actually something that you could be proud of.
So you're talking about building a brand. You said can you start from that spot again? It's not about this, it's not about that, it's not about that.
Right. I think the concept of building a brand is not the way people see it, right? Like yes, it's the truck wraps, it's the yard signs, it's the logos, but what it is building something that people hear. Like if it's a band, people hear the drums playing from far, far away, and they want to come and join
Mm,
the band, right? Like that's the
mm.
brand. Um, they see what we're doing. It's like, man, I want to be a part of that. Like, I know they do good work. The suppliers refer them. The manufacturers refer them. The people in town refer them. They're always getting tagged on Facebook. Like, that's the brand, right? Like, sure, the Paramount
Yeah.
colors are cool, and the black and green's cool, and the American flag, and the pens, and the yard signs, and the trucks. It's all cool and attractive, right? But it's not helping me recruit people to want to beat the drum with me, right?
Yeah.
We
I
all
love
want
that.
to, right? So building the brand is really being the standard, right? Being the standard and being a leader in your industry to where you attract people without having to put ads out to attract them, right?
It's good.
So
I love that, man. I think about like, I always think about it. You have to, you've got the logo, you've got the trucks, you've got the signs and all that.
right,
And to that point, it has to deliver, right? And if you're delivering, let's say like 5-star reviews, like getting more 5-star reviews, getting more referrals from people. Like if you deliver, then it allows that brand to be good. We've all seen a great logo that
for
then the
sure.
company didn't deliver, right? So like, and I've been part of marketing companies where like you can do all the marketing in the world, but if you're not delivering and getting those 5-star reviews, and you guys have
Yeah.
a ton of 5-star reviews, right? Like
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
if
For
you're
sure.
not getting the 5-star reviews and getting the referrals, then all the marketing in the world is kind of it's gonna be a waste.
Absolutely. And what's going to happen is these new generation of younger business owners, this is all they know, right? Like they're watching us and they're building these and they're going to pass your ass right up.
Mm.
I coach a few different people, a handful of people, and this is what we're seeing. If you don't elevate to the next level, you're going to see these new companies that have been only around for a year all of a sudden have 250 reviews and just pass you up. Um, so it's
Yeah.
very competitive. It's very competitive out there.
Yeah. It's
And these
tough.
younger people are smart. They know this
Yeah.
AI. They know ChatGPT. They know
Yeah.
Google. They know SEO. They know LSA. And if you're not on it too, you're gonna get
Yeah.
gobbled up.
And that's the beauty. It's a beautiful thing in a way. It's a beautiful thing about small business is that we all have the opportunity to compete
Sure.
every day, and it's it's stressful as a business owner for sure, but it's a beautiful thing because it's the cream rises to the top very quickly. Let's talk about recruiting talent. You said that that's the next one. If you're not recruiting talent
Yeah.
regularly or creating an attractive company to get talent in, that's going to stop you from getting to 5 million. Why will that stop you?
Well, I mean, it will at least delay you, right? If your employee retention is low and you can't retain employees, and that old way of training sales guys in a sales team, and everybody runs 3 leads a day, and we hire them as fast as we fire them, and it's to me that's not an attractive business, right? You're looking for people to fill in a short period of time without really getting to know them or deliver any value, right? It's just
Mm-hmm.
like you're bringing people in to hit a revenue number, right? And then you're pushing them out, right? Bringing more people, and it's a revolving door. Um, I mean,
I've
same.
got
I mean,
20 I've got 20 sales reps and I'm doing 2 million. There's some
right? Yeah,
crazy stories on this. Like, what is this? That's not a sales rep, man. You got canvassers. You got a lot of
yeah.
canvassers, and that's fine. I'm not mad at you, but like, it's not, you know.
It's not the same. Remember like
Yeah.
the Wolf of Wall Street. He's in that big room, and all those salespeoples are in there, and he's in front of everybody. Rah rah rah. I just feel like unless you're running that kind of an organization, um,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to be a great company and build this brand that people want to be a part of, right? It's all one system, and it kind of helps as we're going down the ladder, achieving these goals. Uh, I just don't
What
know
else?
that.
What else about? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, it's okay.
What else about getting better people in the company
Mhm.
is going to help? Like, how do you do that in a way that will help you get over that 5 million mark? Like, what else could we be doing to do a better job to get the right people in place to get over that 5 million?
There's talent out there, right? There's talent in every organization. How do you get them to see what you're doing and want to bring the right people into the right seat?
Where do you
For us,
recruit on right now? Like, what are you currently getting people from? Like, and how do you
people
get
just ask
your
if they, people ask if we're interested in hiring them. People will
yeah?
ask like, hey, are you looking for this? Whatever their talent is, or like, hey, I
Do they
want to be a part of
find
it.
you on Facebook or
No,
like
they
LinkedIn or
just
Craigslist or
no. I mean, they'll work with us like um, between manufacturers, suppliers, people on the crews, people in the industry, and part of the Facebook groups, YouTube. They'd be like, "Yeah, man, I see what you're doing, and we hear all about it, and the reputation's so good that it's like this is
Mm,
something I want to be a part of." Because you got to realize, like 90% of the organizations out there aren't ran properly. The leadership's not good. The support's not good. The training's not there, right? And when they see other people talking about like, "Hey, man, this is where it's at," right? Like this is way better than ABC, wherever I used to contracting, whatever I used to be at, right? Like you need to come here. It's like the employees and the partners and the people here will help recruit the proper people to put in place.
RoofCon's amazing. Getting to see all the speakers like Nick and Eric and especially Tim Tebow. Very exciting and eye-opening.
Amazing speakers and great knowledge. Keep it up.
First RoofCon, been following Hunter and the Revolt Clan for quite some time, and it's definitely been a lot more than what we expected.
RoofCon 2023 returns to Orlando, Florida, November 9th through the 11th. Get your tickets at roofcon.com.
So for us, I mean, it's like we have the same people and we just kind of grow, you know?
I love that. All right, let's talk about the last one here, letting go of hats. And I just want to preface this with I think every time I ever put out a post, it's like, what's your biggest problem in your company or things like that. A lot of roofing company owners, especially in that 1 million range, say just nobody else is me.
Yeah.
I am, and we're all there, right? Like there's no, you don't get to skip that step.
Hey, I
But-
built this. It's $1 million.
Yeah.
I've done this. Nobody's as good as me. I get it. 100%.
But then again, the other part is like you weren't paying enough. Like there's like an element of you just say that because you're not willing to do the hard work of training somebody, and training people is hard. Like what else have you seen can help people let go of hats?
I think this is the toughest one. And being that I was like, just there and I'm still letting go of hats today, right? Every day.
Yeah.
I think first you have to, what's your objective, right? And you really have to, what is your objective? How big is a company are you building? And what's your niche? What's your focus? Is it the best reviews? Is it the best quality? Is it a production company? Is it, 5 million, 50 million, 100 million? Like, what are all, like, build that dream company and put it on a whiteboard, right? Build your dream company, draw the buildings that you're going to be in, draw the accountability chart, how many people are going to be in the company, right? And then you start to reverse engineer that, right? All the way from 5 years, all the way to 90 days. And it's like, hey, if I hit this in 90 days, okay, that's my first step. If I hit this in 90 days, and you constantly make it
Yeah.
bigger. But I think what happens is you can't hit a target that you don't, that doesn't exist, right? So if you just say, hey, I want to build a bigger roofing company, I want to have, sales reps and do all this. And it's like, okay, well, what's that to you? Or I hear this all the time. I want to build a $5 million roofing company. Okay. What does it look like? Does it just take in $5 million? Is it profitable? What's your net? What kind of company are you? What's your niche? Right? How many people do you need? Are you going to use VAs? Are you going to use assistants, in-house CSRs? How are we getting to 5 million? Right? And what does it look like for you? Because for you and for me, it's two totally different, things. So I think that's a big thing, and that's what I teach a lot of guys is like, let's build your dream company, just like your dream home, right? And then we're going to reverse engineer it, and we're going to start pouring the foundation, and then we're going to build a nice floor, right? And then we're going to build some walls, and then we're going to start putting decorations on the inside in order to get that full house, that dream house that you're looking for.
That's beautiful. I really like this. I did this recently where I set up the 15-year goal of our company. I'm trying to 10x it from 3.5 to 35 million, which is a stupid big goal. That's yeah,
good for
thanks.
you.
Yeah, it's good to have a goal, right? So I set it all up, but what I did, the guy in this book called 10x is easier than 2x. Basically suggested breaking it down into eras. So you come up with 5 eras within that. He also encourages you to make the number longer because we're always like, what can I do in 3 years? If I don't make this giant company in 3 years, and then we overestimate what we can do in 3 years. But if you look at 10 years or 15 years, it's kind of nuts what you can do. It's actually like incredible. Like, so breaking it down into eras and like what it would be characterized by, and those first couple steps are not that drastic. You know, if you're to 10x your company from what it is now to what it could be, like, it's not that crazy. The like 3-year periods, they don't have to be that insane. Like it's a lot softer than you think. And I thought that was a very useful exercise to kind of break down the eras within that 10 to 15-year goal.
It's time you rethink roofing. Okay, so Refresh, Repair, Restore is not just spraying oil on a roof and rejuvenating the roof. We go in and we soft wash the roof. We have to get rid of that algae because that algae actually takes root in your shingles and is tearing your shingle apart on a micro level. So we clean that roof, we get it spotless. We do the necessary repairs that need to be done to your roof, and then we rejuvenate it and bring it back to life.
Make repairs profitable. Offer rejuvenation. uglyroof.com.
I think there's just something to be said, like what you're talking about is making a goal visible, right? Like making it drawing, whether you can draw stick figures and cartoons or you're cutting out, you know, like you see that dream office down the street or that dream building, like you take a picture of it and you like put it on a board, like to make a vision out of something, right? Instead of just like take it from here into something that's visual. It's so powerful, and you see it every day and you're like, man, how am I getting there? Like, how do I get there? Right?
It's like when did you ever do the mansion drawing when you were little? Like draw your ideal mansion. Me and my brother always used to like with the like water slide from the bedroom down into the pool or whatever.
Super cool. But no, I've never done it, but it sounds cool.
Like have your kids do it or something. It'd be fun. But I did a office outline when I was in college. That was like it's supposed to have a video room, which we now have a video room, and I also had a band room in my one when I wrote this out when I was younger. So we're still working on having a band room, which would be really cool. But we do have guitars around and stuff like that. What about this whole the movement of companies getting bought and rolled up? How do you see yourself? Do you plan on selling to one of those, or is that part of your goal one day? Or are you trying to stick with this? Do you think the whole industry is going to get rolled up here?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I haven't really dove into this too much as far as expressing my theory, but I don't think there's any doubt. I think everything that's happened prior to, you know, maybe like pre-COVID, I guess, is just past stuff, right? Like now everything's going to get the acquisitions of these small companies, you know, things like Angie buying companies, ABC's already, you know, installing roofs. And I know companies that do it Amazon style where they're just sending somebody the schematics, finding them a sub and connecting the dots, right? To where it could potentially, you know, deplete our industry. And there's only going to be a few left, but
so are you scared of that?
Well, I mean, here's the thing, right? I'm a competitor. I like to compete, and I'm very competitive in what I do, right? If I didn't have something to push me, or I wouldn't call it a fear, but something to light the fire to keep me moving, right? Then you get comfortable. And when you're comfortable, it's hard to achieve. So I don't mind a little challenge, and I don't mind a little bit of, you know, something to put me on the edge of my seat, because I don't want to ever be comfortable. I want to constantly be progressing and moving. For me, it's like I want to build something, or I'm building something that is, if you want the experience, right? If you don't want just a roof, but you want to deal with the experience, then this is a place that you would come. I mean, for me, am I going to be doing shingles on residential homes? It's not in the future, right? Like that's not our goal here, and that's not what we're going towards. We plan on changing gears, and we're slowly going to do that. Does the shingle portion of the company get sold off, or does it get managed by somebody else, or does it get, you know, that the exit plan strategy's there, but where it actually goes is, you know, I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure of that yet.
I kind of have my theories about this. Like, what's interesting to me, so like, there's several doomsday kind of gurus out there and whatnot, and my thing is like, okay, so HVAC got rolled up, right? Like it got totally rolled up the last 10 years, but then there's still 110,000 HVAC companies.
That's what I'm saying, right?
I'm not really sure that I believe that just because there's some Walmarts that you don't have other, niche players. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
all shops are not gone because there's Walmarts. It's just you survive more when you have hyper local and like specialized type services.
Right.
So
The
I just
riches are
think
in the niche.
yeah, exactly. I just think people are going to have to figure out what they're very good at. There's not maybe the competition from big giant players in major markets. Yeah, it cuts out. It hurts some mid-sized businesses that kind of are stagnant. So I don't know. I think I'm trying to predict the fact that there will be a lot of mid-sized players because I don't want I don't want to serve corporations, Eric.
Yeah, no.
I just don't
I
want
don't
to be
either.
that. Yeah.
I don't need
So
the
I'm
thought of
kind
like
of
selling off to a big corporate, like selling everything that I've done
Yeah.
off to like ABC Supply or something would be very, I don't know if I could do that just for my own, like, I just don't know if I could do that.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not saying never. I'm just
Right.
saying,
It would just be tough.
yeah,
But
like
I think what we're going to find is the lack of communication, right? Like there's, even we all use like VAs, like I have, we're all using VAs, but
Yeah.
it's like here you get experience, like you're assigned not only a project manager,
Yeah.
but you have an inside sales rep where she's taking you through the whole thing. Like you can call us anytime. You're always going to get a human. You're going to get somebody in my office to help you. And you're going to get assigned a project manager. And it's like, I know these bigger companies do this too, but I just think it's a little bit different, right? Than the way that we do it. And I think that,
yeah.
I think it's survival to me, right?
Yeah, I
it's
think
survival.
there's a little bit of these. Walmart's a different business than roofing, okay? And there's a lot of, from what I can tell as a roofing business owner, one reason I don't have a roofing company yet is it seems like it's just there's a lot of nitty gritty management of crews, and there's a lot of junk around that like a corporation will have a hard time dealing with at a hyper local level. I'm not saying it'll never happen. I'm saying there's a lot of difficulty around that. And then with customers, there's a lot of customer service involved in this service. It's a lot of management and conversation. And honestly, that's one reason, like, I bet you, I'm guessing that commercial is a little smoother than the residential side as far as customer service goes. Is that true, or am I wrong on that?
Oh no, for sure. It's so much. It's so nice.
It reminds
it's night
me
and day
of,
for us.
yeah. Yeah.
You know.
There's this like meme out there that says like the customer that's spending like $500, like, I just want you to know that this is a big investment and we're really want to make sure that this ends up paying off. Customer that's spending $50,000, invoice sent. Or like, sorry, payment sent. The point being is like, sometimes these people that are spending more money they don't have these insane expectations sometimes, especially when you're going after the lowest end customers, like the lowest end roofs, the smallest roofs. They have these crazy weird expectations because they're to part with $10,000 is like,
Yeah.
it's
a completely different mindset. And I also think like a lot of it, I call it the Amazon effect. You can agree or disagree. But since Amazon is so prominent in society, right? It's like you order Amazon, you get it now, right? If something's wrong, if it's broken, they just send you a new one. They don't charge you, right? All these expectations are like, Grubhub, Uber, right? All this stuff is designed for the here and the now and how fast can I get it, right? Well, in roofing, right, especially for homeowners, that's not the case, right? And especially when you get into insurance work, which is a totally different animal, but it's not here now, fast as we can go and get out, right? There's a process to this. And what it seems like to me is people don't really want to follow, they don't want to wait to carry out the process, right? They want it here, they want it now. And if it's not perfect, then they want to negotiate after the fact. And a few years ago, that was not a thing, right? It wasn't a thing. It was like, thank you so much for the hard work. Sometimes they would give us tips, like, thank you so much. Like they'd have Gatorades and coolers and buy us pizza for lunch. And now it's a completely different mind shift. And in the normal consumer, the average consumer, I would say. And
You know
I
that's
just think it
still
has to do
Google.
with,
Sorry,
no, go
I
ahead.
was going off in a random direction.
That's all right. I like random directions.
It's Googled 300 to 400 times a month is should I tip my roofer? So people are still asking. I think we
Do
just
you
need to have
understand?
that.
Like every time
Yeah.
you go to any food place, it's like you
Yeah.
have to leave a tip for carry out. Like that shit never existed, man. It's like
Yeah,
you put the
it's
food
funny
in the
because
bag, and I
like
tip you
there's a guy
15%.
like pulling a muffin out of a like a glass case and handing it to
Yeah.
you, and he wants a $2 tip, but like the person who's sitting up there like nailing shingles when the
Yeah.
100 degrees is out like doesn't get a tip. It's just funny how
It's crazy,
it's
man.
funny how tipping the expectations for that have increased.
Yeah.
But nothing with the blue collar trades. We just really don't see as much of that type of activity.
Right. And I'm
We gotta
not.
get
I
the
mean,
iPad. We gotta bring the iPad after the roof
Yeah.
job and just be like, here, flip it to them and just like
yeah, flip for sure. Or on their
$200,
QuickBooks,
$500, $1,000.
invoice. On the QuickBooks invoice, just have
Yeah.
tip 10%,
Yeah.
15%, 20%. They can click it and go. Just
That
adds 20.
tipping
20%.
racket.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I don't know if that would work at all. That's funny though.
So tell me about your experience with digital marketing. I know that from what I understand, you're with Michael Stearns now and Ascend Digital, and they
Yes.
are. I'm guessing that they're doing a pretty good job for you guys.
Yeah,
Have you had
absolutely.
any bad experiences before
Yes,
that?
the company prior to Mike was literally the worst experience I've dealt with personally.
What happened?
I mean, from the onboarding to like, hey, I'll give you all your access to your ads. I'll give you all the access to your analytics. Everything's transparent. We're going to hook you up with one manager to manage your account, and then the website didn't even get completed. I know I'm jumping around. There's so much. This just gets me hot. So in the middle, so in the
Consider
beginning,
this
right,
therapy.
they're supposed to build residential and commercial. Well, the commercial pages never got built, right? So when it was time to launch, it was like, well, let's just launch the site. Let's get the site launched, and we'll go back and we'll finish the commercial pages. Well, this was in July. In November, I'm like, dude, where are the commercial pages? They're still not done. And they sent me an email saying, hey, we don't have any web designers on staff since we're not really a web company. Can your marketing team build the commercial pages? And it's
Wait,
like,
what do
my
you mean?
marketing team, dude, I swear, I have this shit in emails.
They said they are not really a digital company. What do you mean? Because I know
They said they're not a website building company. They're a marketing company, right? They don't specialize in, so they don't have web designers on staff.
Oh my
This
God.
is just one thing, right?
Yeah, but
Then
that's
they give you
kind of wild
reports.
because they sell a lot of websites. So they outsource all of that apparently.
They must, right?
Okay. That's the one thing I do. That's one thing it kind of irks me where it's like people, they sell something, but they don't have anyone that can quality control that on staff. Like if you're not, because it's like, I don't know, I'll just say this because I know there are some roofers that don't know how to put on a roof themselves. However, I believe it's ideal that you do. I believe it's ideal that you know how to go and fix work if it's not like if your sub doesn't complete it right, to be able to complete it right. And I think like even up to the point of like I personally I want to be able to back up my work, and I know how to code, I know how to design so that I can do it if no one else is there to do it.
You would think. You would think, yeah. It was just an absolute nightmare.
Give me a couple more examples just for shits and giggles.
Gosh. So the analytics, instead of giving you access to your analytics, they send you a report at the end of the month, right? So we're looking at the report. It's like, oh, your SEO is doing great. This is great. This is great. Well, during that time, I talked to Mike, and I said, because Mike kind of helped me a couple years ago with something.
Mm-hmm.
And I just said it to Mike. I said, Mike, can you look into this? Because I just don't see the conversions and the stuff that they have in this report. So he ran, is it SEMrush?
Yeah.
I gave him how to get in things, and he's running SEMrush reports, and in my analytics, and nothing. It's not lining up, right?
Mm-hmm.
When they, and you would know this more than me, but this is just the terminology they use. When they built my website, they didn't move my users. They didn't switch my users over from the old website to the new website. So as soon as it launched, right? We lost 1,100 users. Well, I'm not sure. You can help me with what that means.
Yeah.
But you can see all these metrics go July, boom, right down. And then they never picked back up, right? It never picked back up.
Yeah.
And it's just like to not be transparent. This is the thing. It's
Yeah,
It's-
and from my point of view, like a launch of any type can lead to a small decrease in traffic.
and they warned me of that.
And that, but like it can be very quick. Ideally, it's very quick. By the way,
Yeah.
your new website looks really nice.
Thank you.
And I think, there's a ton of lovely things. I like the phone number. I like
It's like jingling.
like it kind of like, because
Yeah.
what we really want, there's beautiful websites, and then what we really want is conversions, man. And I think that there is a little bit of like there's a back and forth with those two things. By the way, and I see your keywords are going up as well, by a lot. I'm looking at the back end of the site, and I see like a big gulch from.
Well, look at July of 2022,
Yeah.
right? Was when the old site launched.
Yeah.
And then
And
Mike
then it just
took
goes
over.
boom, it drops out. And then now it's way back up. So I don't know what happened there. But it's very clear. It's very clear when you upgraded your marketing partner. And by the way, like Mike and I are, friendly competitors. I don't think like we're, trying to, negatively,
Well, there's no way you both can do it all, right? I mean,
yeah.
there's no-
And we refer to him, he refers to us sometimes. But I like seeing like if a bad marketing partner drops off your traffic, it's crazy how much I'm not promoting him or anything because I think we can do the same. But the point is like it's a good thing that you have a solid marketing partner. I remember talking to you about that at the time. I was like, I just want you to get where you're going. I want you to get with somebody that's decent because it's sad to see. Well, I hate marketing agencies getting a bad rap because a few agencies suck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what I hate. Well, I appreciate you being on today. Is there anything else you want to share just for our audience or like where they could get in contact with you or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, two things. One thing is let's just to close up and button up this marketing thing. You know, buying bad marketing is like buying a bad roof. You don't want to buy, the most expensive roof is a bad roof and you have to buy it twice, right? So I spent a lot of money twice. I built 2 websites in less than a year and they were very expensive. So I would absolutely look into people that are really great, like Tim or Mike, or there's got to be others. But do your homework on marketing and because you don't want to waste time, right? You're losing leads, you're losing leverage, you're losing branding, you're losing everything that you're going out there to build. So I just want to like a word of caution on that.
Yeah, 100%.
And then, as far as closing remarks go, I would just say, like if you're trying to build this thing, like stay focused. And I'm always available. You can Facebook message me, Instagram me. I'm on YouTube. I'm putting out more content. Like every 2 to 3 weeks, we're dropping videos. I just dropped 2. I'm about to drop a 3rd one. That's really great. I'm going to the Roofing Process Conference. I'm speaking there. So if you want to meet me, I'd love to meet as many people as I can. That's why I go, right? So I know Tim, you always go, right? You'll be there?
Yeah, I'll be there.
Tim will be there too. So yeah, man, whatever I can do to help at any time I'm always open to it.
Awesome. And I love that you're giving back by mentoring people, coaching people or whatever else, because I think it also sharpens us as we try to help some people that are.
It's amazing how much I learn, it's like I'm giving you everything I know, and I get a little gold nuggets in the meantime. So I think it's pretty cool. So.
All right, man. Well, thanks for being on, and I appreciate you taking the time. Everyone, thanks for watching the Hook Better Leads podcast. Every Tuesday and Friday, we have a new episode put on by hookagency.com and Hook Agency all over social. Bye.
Sweet.